Thanks for tuning in to another show in the Next Reel family of film podcasts.
Want to skip those ads and get early access?
Become a member at truestory.fm/join and discover all the other great perks that come with it.
I'm Pete Wright.
And I'm Andy Nelson.
Welcome to The Next Reel. When the movie ends,
our conversation begins.
The Invincible Six is over. Wherever these people have gone, there's one thing we know for sure. The women bathe more than the men do. That was maybe the greatest mystery of the film, Andy, is who bathes more, the women,
right,
or the men? Invincible Six. Boy, I have never seen a film from director Jean Negulesco.
Yeah, Jean, I'm not sure, but he's a big filmmaker. Pete.
I know.
Like, he's a hardcore
the
big
father
filmmaker.
of what was it? The father of CinemaScope or something or other? What is it? The feel around Godfather, sense around King.
The first real master of CinemaScope.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, that's better than what you were coming up with. Yeah,
but mine. I mean, they were fine. So they're equal.
Yeah,
I think.
But like How to Marry a Millionaire.
Yeah,
Hugh
didn't see it.
Johnny Belinda. Titanic, not A Night to Remember. This is the 1953 Titanic. He also did Roadhouse, not the 80s Roadhouse. This is the 1948 Roadhouse. Daddy Longlegs, Three Coins in a Fountain. And so very much a prominent Hollywood filmmaker of the 40s and 50s that still continued working all the way up to this point. And here we are in 1970, The Invincible Six.
So all of those movies were on the list, and we picked this one to enter into the collection of Negulesco's films.
Well, let's just say, I didn't think Three Coins in the Fountain quite fit into the Seven Samurai family. I mean, I tried. I'm like, okay, let's see how, what is Louis Jourdan? What is his role in the scope? There's three coins, Seven Samurai, maybe the coins. No,
yes,
anyway.
Each coin is a protector of the village.
Yeah, so no, here we are adding to our Seven Samurai family series. This is we've done the Seven Samurai, we've done the Magnificent Seven, we've done the Magnificent Seven remake, we did Three Amigos, we did Bug's Life, we did Sholay, and we did last week Battle Beyond the Stars. So 7 films, and I'm wondering if we should have left it at 7 films, because here we are with our 8th one.
Yes.
The Invincible Six.
Yeah, it is quite a movie. It is interesting for a number of reasons. I don't think any of those reasons are what we actually see on screen. But it is interesting because it represents a time in filmmaking when Iran was doing foreign language co-productions filmed in Iran and all pre-revolution, 79 revolution, and they're able to make movies like this. And I think that's fascinating because this is not an Iran that we've seen for a number of decades since in our lifetime, which is, I think, fascinating.
No, it's a very different time that, I mean, we're seeing a different view of kind of Iranian women, like what they're wearing and everything. It's like the whole thing comes across much different. Now, granted, a lot of the characters that we're seeing might be, quote, Iranian, but are actually American or European or something.
Still, when we're talking about representation on screen, this is different.
Yeah, right. This is different. So it was interesting. And actually, Negulesco was actually very excited to do this film and, as he would say, to kind of continue this run of other Iranian American co-productions that he was going to be working on doing together. And it was like this whole next phase of his career, meant to be this next phase in his career. And, the film wasn't received very well, and so that kind of put a kibosh on the entire thing. But it's interesting to see what they actually were putting out at the time. Very much a B movie.
Trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
The quote I found was this was in reference to The Pleasure Seekers 1964, The Invincible Six in 70, and Hello Goodbye in 70, which are best described as best forgotten.
Ooh, ouch.
Well, yeah, that's smart.
I will say though, this is very much a B movie. It's not a good movie, but I wasn't bored. And I guess that's where I would start. It's like I continued watching this whole thing, rolling my eyes like, God, this is just like that whole opening heist sequence. Like there's no setup. We don't know who any of the characters are. We don't know who's on the team. Just suddenly there's this attempted heist of the actual crown jewels. Like we're actually like, that's how ready Iran was to get involved in these productions. Like those are the real crown jewels that they let film at this whole opening heist. And I mean, it was kind of a fun heist because a guy gets crushed by these doors. Like
that was
these
awesome.
two women dressed as nuns. It was like this crazy little heist scene to do it. And it all gets screwed up because somebody forgets to turn off the alarm. I don't know, but they try to shoot through the bulletproof glass and that fails and the alarm goes off. It was a mess, but like it was so shoddily put together. I had no idea who the characters were. I didn't have any sense of the relationship, who was supposed to be doing what. Like there wasn't any setup.
Yeah.
It just happens, it gets botched, and then everyone's on the run. And that's kind of like how the film starts. And like that's how the film kind of continues. It's like, okay, it's a rough one, but I still had fun in kind of a crappy B movie late night sort of way.
Yeah, no, and I'll absolutely agree with that. I think the movie is super chunky until it becomes really predictable, right? Like right up about the point you figure out, oh, I see what they're doing, then you can see around every corner. You can see exactly what's going to happen next. So you go from being completely bamboozled by what the hell the movie is to being absolutely ahead of the movie on every page. And yet, by the time we reach the final shooting of the principal bad guy on the hangman's DS, and he's shot 19,000 times before he falls. I thought that was the biggest swing this movie could possibly make, and I was in it. I just feel like this is going to be one of those movies that does get a heart from me, even though its stars will be probably served to others on Letterboxd. It's not a great movie, but when he dies, it earns a lot back for me. It's bonkers.
Yeah, it is pretty bonkers.
And I will say, we should go through the actual Invincible Six because they built a team. They ended up building a team.
They did.
Are any of them memorable to you?
I can remember who they are, so I suppose that counts for something, right?
Quite literally.
like we start off with our initial three from that first botched robbery. We've got Tex and Ronnie as the two, I guess I'll just kind of say the main characters from that first robbery. They are on the run. They end up going to some little town where they're going to meet Mike, their mechanic, who was part of that first robbery as well. We also end up following Giorgio, an Italian who is we meet him and we know he's already in a stolen vehicle. He's in a stolen Jeep. He's putting paint on all the information that would give him away, and he's trying to hide it all so that he can get through the checkpoints. So we see him and he ends up like the police are like, "Hey, we're looking for this guy." It's an Iranian guy. This is our very prominent, I believe he's a fairly prominent Iranian actor, Behrouz Vossoughi. He plays Jehan. And so he finds him on the street and says, "Hey, you're wanted. Come on with me." The two of them go off. They end up at the same cafe as that first three. And through a little created situation, they end up kind of getting a ride from them working together. And then on the road, they end up coming across Baron Karl von Bitterhofen.
Right.
Curt Jurgens.
Right. We call him Stromberg.
Yeah. He's fantastic. And so that's kind of our team. And he comes across like I'm this baron, I'm this rich guy, but when he drops his bag, it's full of like gun and objects to like break into safes and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So like, okay, I think we're on the same page. Now we have the team. We do get kind of like that team building bit.
And I think one of the things that this movie has, where it does not live up to its own aspirations in terms of structure, script, plot, it does have a charismatic team. First of all, I'm following Jurgens because of James Bond. Like, it was just such a treat to see him in this movie, not as our villain. But I think Stuart Whitman and certainly Ronnie, Ian Ogilvy, are very charismatic people. And I will just watch them bumble through this crazy script. I was in it for their weirdo relationship.
Well, I think you can see why. I mean, they're not like top stars, but they're all name actors.
They certainly are.
They do character parts. They're in B films, and this is certainly a B film. Gene Negulesco is directing. You can see them saying, "Oh yeah, I'll sign on to do that. Yeah, that could be fun." And even Elke Sommer, who plays Zari, she's also a prominent person who, I think I probably remember from like some of the Pink Panther films and things like that. But
for sure,
she pops up in this as well. And so you're seeing faces you recognize. Oh, and I didn't even mention our villain, James Mitchum, Robert's son, one of Robert's sons.
James Mitchum.
So we've got a lot of faces in this.
Yeah. James Mitchum. I mean, he's chewing up every frame that he is in.
Not with his eyes, though. His eyes are pretty sleepy, just like his dad's.
Yep, just like his dad's. He's just, this movie is crazy. So that's essentially the plot. That leads us into James Mitchum is our bad guy, and he is terrorizing this town.
Yeah, well, and we should say, like, there is a little bit of a difference in the team building here, because this team is built to rob things. Like, that's the purpose of this team. They're all bank robbers, thieves. Their intent is to, hey, you do this too, so do we. Let's all get together and we can go pull off some big job, is kind of their aim.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so they go through a moment of hiding from the cops at one point. And again, that was another prominent moment where they're hiding in, I can't remember what the ruins are. I had it opened, but they're going off, and it's clear Iran is like, hey, yeah, you can film here. Just make sure you're filming in some of these spots, because we want to make sure that you're showing off the countryside, right? And some of our historic places. It's the Persepolis ruins. That's what it was. So they end up in this little town that's completely devoid of people, and they're poking around trying to figure out what's going on. They find out that there is this problem with these bandits and thieves, and they don't want anything to do with it. And so it's taking from the Seven Samurai concept and putting it into this, but then they're like, nah, good luck. And only the Iranian stays, because he's like, hey, these are my people. I need to stay and help them.
Right.
And so I guess my first question in the scope of all of that for you is, how does that element play where we're not given as much a strong reason for, again, I know what movie we're talking about here, but we're not given a strong reason as to their reasons to stay. Like, how did that play for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, you said it. I think we didn't get a strong reason because it wasn't written there, and I think the intention is to give these guys eventual reason to turn from their malcontented ways to doing the right thing, even if accidentally they manage to do the right thing. And I think the degree to which you believe they've done that, and at what point in the film that happens for you, that's going to be whether or not the movie works, right? Is it when Ronnie is inconspicuously returned to the village? Maybe that was the turn. Maybe that was the thing that made the guys decide they're going to go up against Nazar. Is it about the woman? Is it about, like, what is it? What is the inciting incident that turns them from, we're not going to do this, to, yeah, we have to do this?
Well, but I mean, that we do get that moment.
Yeah.
It's just pretty poor. It's like Jahan says, I'm going to stay. And they're like, okay, best of luck. And they drive away.
Yeah.
And as they're driving away, they kind of like pause and they're like, I don't know, should we? And they're debating it. So they already have a moment of indecision. So you're like, okay, is it just because they're kind of the good guys? And that's when they start getting shot at. And they're like, oh crap, we got to go back. And they're stuck now. And that's kind of like the setup is like, they really can't get out because they're in this valley surrounded by these hills with these people.
Surrounded by snipers, right. But that's what I mean. Like, I feel like that sequence, they go back, and you're right. It is a poor reason. They're uncommitted. They're going back because of logistics, right? But at some point, it becomes a believable commitment to the village.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I think is the interesting one, right? Like,
but I just don't know where it is.
I don't either. I mean, I feel like Tex gets a good scream when Ronnie is dropped. Ronnie's body is dropped.
Yeah,
but
that's like the end of the movie. That's like leading into our climax. Yeah,
right. Is that it? Like, I came away thinking, okay, now they're in it because now it's a vengeance story. Why didn't this happen at about 30 minutes in?
Right, because before that, I mean, they go up against the the villains, the thieves and bandits a few times when they come to attack, and then they hold them back, and they sneak out and wipe out a whole squadron or whatever. There's a whole back and forth that's going on. But I mean, I don't get the sense that they have committed, but I also don't get the sense that, like, I feel like they're having opportunities to sneak out and get past these guys, but never actually do.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the thing. It's like, it's again, I think these are issues with the film. It's very wishy-washy in actually presenting us with any sense of reasoning or logic with the characters.
Yeah, there are no strong bonds, I think, except for our initial three, maybe. But in the film, there are no real strong bonds that are emotionally compelling. And that's a script thing.
No, I mean, Jahan ends up falling for the daughter of the police chief.
Mm-hmm.
So he's connected. And then, yeah, I mean, Tex does kind of fall for Zari, you know, the hot woman who
teaches him how to eat.
Hops in throws him in the tub.
Yeah.
A few moments. There's surprising, I don't know. Again, the fact that this is Iranian American, I was surprised that we had some of the violence and nudity that we had. You know, it's like, wow, okay, I guess they're not too concerned with some of this point in time.
There is some reciprocal slapping, right? Like Tex smacks her at one point during the dance scene when they have the drive-by. When she's crying, he hits her in the face, and then he shows up in her room and she smacks him, and he smacks her again. Like, there's a lot of smacking that feels inappropriate for people to do to each other.
Yeah. When you're starting a relationship,
yeah,
it's...
And yeah, I guess led to...
It speaks to a particular type of relationship that you're looking for.
Yeah. We call that the precoital slap, the precoital smack.
Yeah.
Which it was, you know, troublesome treatment in some cases of the female characters. It felt very of its time.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, very much so. We do get complications in the plot. They get to this village and they find out that there's a dead body, Malik, lying in in like a church or temple. And he's got this big amulet on his chest. And they find out from the sheriff and his daughter that this was the leader of the bandits. He had been caught and killed and was brought back here because I guess this is where he's from. And his mother lives here and they're going to bury him. But these bandits are trying to steal his body. This is kind of the whole conundrum. The new leader, Nizar, James Mitchum's character, wants the body because it's like some superstition that the bandits have that the leader has to take the body of the other leader. I don't even remember. It was just a strange thing. They need to somehow get the body so that he can prove his leadership skills. In reality, as we find out, he along with Zari and along with Malik's mom, know that this amulet that he's wearing has a secret map in it to like this massive treasure trove. That might be the reason that our group stays, because they find out there's treasure.
That is so subtle that before you said it, I'd forgotten that was there. This was the sequence where he says, there was a discussion. He says, well, we need the body. Well, the body's buried. Well, dig him up. And then they start fighting. They go fisticuffs.
Yeah. Right.
Seems a little out of the blue, the fisticuffs, until you remember there's a map on the amulet.
Yeah, like that's what it's all about. And Zari wants it because she wants the money. And she's, I don't know. It's an interesting element. And Nazar also, because Zari was Malik's woman, Nazar feels he has a right to have her as his woman now too. And she apparently had kind of also been his woman, but now she doesn't want that anymore and she likes Tex. And so, yeah, again, a lot of things that are plotted, but only feel plotted. They don't feel like I'm buying into the character motivations behind any of it.
Yeah.
That's the struggle with it.
That's a struggle in every sequence.
Yeah.
I wonder though, like, how much of this movie do you think is built on its really kind of compelling technical effectiveness, right? Like, certainly budgetary limitations, but I do think the look and the location really serve the film. There are some really interesting uses of shadow, incredibly bright highs and very visceral darks, even in the outside sequences, that I think play for often a good looking scene, even if what's happening in the scene is not that great.
Watching this film was frustrating because the only version is a crappy 4x3 VHS rip of the film. Knowing that this film was shot in 2:3:5:1 aspect ratio, knowing that Negulesco is called the father of CinemaScope, I can't help but feel that there's it's not a great film, but there's an opportunity for a restoration just so we can see how this looks. I can imagine that this is a kind of a beautiful looking film. Like, we're seeing some incredible landscapes. I already mentioned the Persepolis ruins. We're seeing a lot of images that clearly were shot widescreen that are now getting cropped. I didn't even notice pan and scan. It's just once you get to the credits at the end, everything gets squished because they got to squeeze it all in there.
There are some funny sequences though of pan and scan, like, because the blocking is hard to do when you have 6 people in a Jeep, and there's an entire sequence in the woods where you're looking at the whole crew, and I think it's the Italian who's talking, and he's in the front passenger seat, and the entire frame crops him out as he's speaking. I thought, okay, this is it. This is the problem that we're experiencing right now.
Yeah. So that's, it's a problem. It's not great. And so to your point, I do feel like there was enough in here that looked like this would be a really surprisingly probably good looking film for as B-level as it is, if it were given the chance to actually, be shown properly.
Yeah. Because they just, I think the film, maybe I'm giving it too much credit, but I think the film takes advantage of its location really effectively. I think they shooting in these locations across Iran, it looks good. It looks cool. It looks compelling. It looks of a piece to the story they want to be telling here. And so I was definitely on team location shooting. Like, this is better than a backlot.
It's based off the Heroes of Yuca by Michael Barrett, which was actually set in South America. It is pretty similar. The story sounds fairly similar. 6 men in a stolen Jeep arrive at the deserted South American township of Yuca, where they find a gallows and a dead man lying in an empty church. So the story is very, very similar. It sounds like the book really kind of pulled straight, or the script pulled straight from that, other than perhaps that opening failed heist attempt. But do you feel that matters, that we're moving this? Because, I mean, yeah, Iran looks great on film here. Do you feel it matters having this moved from somewhere in South America to Iran? Or is this fine telling this anywhere?
I think it's fine telling it anywhere. I only thought about that, wondering, like, this was really supposed to be taking place in the old West, South America, Central America, old West Americana.
Yeah.
Because it's in Iran and it looks so normal to me for a Western. Like, it has all of the aesthetics of a Western film. I did not notice a lick. You tell me it was supposed to be shot in South America. Sure. I don't think it matters at all that it was here. Not even a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely think, well, I suppose in the scope of this Seven Samurai family, I mean, you can take this and kind of put it anywhere, and it works. Whether it's a, farmland, a farm planet, whether it's a, little bug area, Mexico, the Old West. I think it's become kind of this universal story that can be transplanted anywhere.
Anywhere there are bullies.
Anywhere there are bullies, yeah. So I think it plays fine. And shooting it in Iran gives them the opportunity, like you said, show some interesting landscape.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Are you that familiar with many of the cast other than Curt Jurgens?
I'm not. And I find that strange because it feels they feel notably familiar to me. The faces are notably familiar, and yet I look at, particular Stuart Whitman. I look at his catalog, and I would not have been able to tell you that's who he is. He just has become a face to me, another face in Hollywood, a face of, holy smokes, 191 credits. And yet I wouldn't be able to tell you a single film beside this one that he was in that I've seen.
He's been in parts like in The Longest Day, Those Magnificent Men and Their Flying Machines, Night of the Lepus. He was nominated for Best Actor for his performance in The Mark. And TV, I mean, A-Team, Briscoe County Jr. I know, things that were just brought up last week.
Yep.
So, I mean, he is kind of very much a face who's been in a lot of things. And so, but as you said, he is kind of that guy sort of face. And I think when you're working on a project like this, you're bringing in people like him who aren't the big names, but they're a name enough that you can call up his agent and cut a deal, and he'll fly off to Iran to make this little movie with you.
Yeah. Elke Sommer, Shot in the Dark. I'm familiar with a couple of things that she did, but I think mostly I knew her because my parents were a big fan of Elke Sommer and would bring her up. Yeah, occasionally.
That's interesting.
Again, over 100 credits for Elke Sommer.
Because of her performances, or were there other things about her that they liked so much?
What are you suggesting?
She's a beautiful woman. I'm just saying.
You're suggesting that my parents are superficial? Is that what you're suggesting? My parents only care about what somebody looks like. That's fine.
That's right.
That's fine. That's right. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
It's very funny. Very funny.
Especially because she was. Well, I mean, I guess she was. Her. What were the big years of Elke Sommer? Really, the 60s, 70s.
Yeah, I feel like it was, kind of. I'm very much not familiar with pretty much like her German career.
Yeah.
So for me, it really just boils down to when she started popping up in Hollywood, like those early, like Shot in the Dark, things like that. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like she's somebody who's probably more that I thought of more like as a pinup girl, sort of, than her performances.
I think so too. I think probably so. I think my dad had a crush on Elke Sommer. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, it could be.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Let's get your dad on the line.
That's right. Let's talk to him
and see what your dad thinks of Elke Sommer.
Do you know of Curt Jurgens from anything other than The Spy Who Loved Me?
No, I don't think so. Should I? Is there something as you're perusing the list that you think, oh, Pete's going to be really embarrassed that he didn't think of this?
No, actually, I don't think so. But there are, a few other things that I'm like, oh, right. Like, and God Created Woman is like a film that I know of. Never seen it, but I know of that movie. And so I'm like, okay, so he was in that too.
I mean, his top 4 in IMDb, I know of all of them. Battle of Britain, Longest Day, The Enemy Below, and The Spy Who Loved Me. Only one of those have I seen. I don't think I've seen any of the other 3.
Battle of Britain I've seen. He was also in Battle of Neretva, which I've seen. And so, so I've seen a few of his. And then he was out in Smiley's People, the miniseries.
Yeah, which I did not see either.
I didn't either.
It comes very highly recommended.
Yes. James Mitchum is, again, looks so much like his father. Very much kind of that laconic hangdog look that his dad has. He has that also. Another person who I haven't seen in much, though I'm sure I've seen him in stuff,
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he's another one where it's just a face that I know so well, probably because of his dad. And I look at his credits. I haven't seen any of the other movies that he's in. I just know that face.
Yeah, I think that's it. Two Lane Blacktop is probably the big one on my list of his that I've always been meaning to check that one out. I just haven't gotten around to it, but he does pop up in that as well.
Yeah. Young Guns of Texas seems like a thing that's been pilfered. Not a lot of great movies, right? The movies that he's in, if you peruse his rankings, the 70s, he had some 6s. He had 1 7, you're right, Two Lane Blacktop. But everything else is really in the 4s and 5s with some 2s, which is probably why we haven't seen a whole lot. Not a lot of his stuff bubbles up to the watchable.
Yeah.
I have to put this on my watch list kind of territory.
Right. Ian Ogilvy, he plays Ronnie. Man, he gets a brutal death, huh?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, I've seen Death Becomes Her, Wuthering Heights. Haven't seen My Life in Ruins. I, Claudius was the TV miniseries. I didn't watch it. My mom loved it.
I it was a great one, yeah.
Yep.
He may be best known as Simon Templar in Return of the Saint on TV when he took that over from Roger Moore.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he is still cranking them out. He's got 2 upcoming projects. No, is that even possible? Apparently.
He's still active, yeah.
Wow.
He's a wee 82,
go.
Pete. No time to slow down.
No time to slow down.
Yeah.
Oh, he was the broadcaster in Moonraker, the radio play.
Yeah, he was considered for James Bond. When Roger Moore was leaving, he was the guy that they were actually considering and didn't quite pan out. But yeah, he could have been a name we very much knew had that happened.
I definitely like him in this film. I think he is. You can see the charm, the charisma. He has a little bit of what Robert Redford has in Butch and Sundance, right? He's got just a little bit of that wit, that charm, that sandy, blondish brown hair, good-looking Western guy.
Yeah, I think that he does great for it. He's again, they're not asked to do a lot in this one. I think he's fine. I had mentioned that Behrouz Vossoughi is a prominent Iranian actor and also still very active. And he's been in quite a bit. I'm trying to see if there's anything that he was in that I talked about when I did my Iranian New Wave conversation over on CinemaScope.
Oh, right.
I'm not seeing anything, but there is a film that he did called Gaysar, which I know we at least discussed. We brought up, but we didn't discuss it as one of the films specifically. But so, yeah.
You don't want to try and shoehorn this into Iranian New Wave Part 2, do you?
Yeah. I'll see what my guest thinks. See if we can bring this one back in. Lon Satin is Mike. He is the mechanic of the team who sabotages Jeeps or puts them back together. Not a big career. He does pop into Live and Let Die and Revenge of the Pink Panther, but really, I think it's Starlight Express on Broadway that he was probably most known for. That's one of your favorite Andrew Lloyd Webbers, isn't it?
Stop it right now. Stop it. I know I wore roller skates for like a month after that. We don't need to litigate that again.
Oh man.
Well, this was a tricky one to watch. I think this is the thing. Like what I'm trying to do is figure out what is the conversation for this film what is its place in cinema history, right? It hasn't really risen to importance in the cultural history of the time. It is pretty wildly dated in some places. It's, I guess if I were more of a student, of post Iranian revolutionary history, it would be easier to maybe have a cultural conversation about what this film represents. And I guess that probably is its place in ignominy. It's an ignominious kind of stature in cinema history, because it also represents one of the worst films of one of the better directors that we haven't explored very much. Like it just feels like around every corner I'm looking at this movie thinking we are missing out. We're missing out on a better version of this film, certainly a better looking version if we had the CinemaScope rip. And why did we start with his last most forgettable work? That's sad. That's just sad.
Well, yeah. I mean, there are reasons, but I do agree. It would be nice to do some more exploring of Negulesco just to see what else he's capable of.
I kind of think so. Isn't that funny? Okay, one question. They spend the whole time in the high desert, right? That really is where they are.
Yeah.
The final credit run, they leave the sort of wooded area. They're in the Jeep and they take off, and it cuts from them in the Jeep. There's some clouds behind them, and they turn around and they're in the snow. It is a hard, hard left turn that takes them into the unknown. They are not prepared to go into the weather that they're in right now. It's a flip of Jurgens flips a coin, and they turn and they head to the mountains, and there's a ton of snow in the next cut.
It's weird that I don't even remember the snow.
So much snow.
Maybe it's not weird.
It's not weird. No, you're okay. So much snow.
This is the base. This is when they get to the base, like the bad guy's base, right?
This is like at the very end of the movie, after the shooting and everything.
Oh, after they're...
No, literally, when I say credits roll, I mean the cut in the snow is credits going up. That's it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The movie is well over.
So weird.
And now it is snow. It's snow drifts. It's snow, packed snow on the road. It's like, that's the next cut. Where do they go?
It's strange. God, it's so strange. So strange.
Everything about this movie is just weird choices. I feel like for a movie that I know I'm not going to rate very highly, we actually spoke more highly of it than I think. I think we're trying to forgive it for something.
Well, okay. It is worth just talking about the nature of this sort of movie, because it's not a great movie. We've already discussed. It's kind of like bad, but it's not bad. Like, there are movies that I watch where I'm just like pissed that I'm watching it. I'm sitting there. I'm like, this movie is so boring. This is so stupid. Like, I'm hating myself for still not being able to turn off a movie. Like, once I started, I have to finish the damn thing. And it's like, curse me and my stupid thing. Why can't I just let that go and just turn this bloody movie off? Because I hate it. I'm hating all of this. This isn't one of those movies. And
that's weird.
That's the thing that, like, what is it? Is it just like, is it Negulesco's smooth hand behind the camera? Like, what is it that's keeping us? Or is it just the nature of this type of genre film where it's like, I've talked about this a number of times. Like, there are movies where it's very easy for me to just put on like Late Night in a Hotel and just lay there and watch. And usually I'm trying to fall asleep, but I can't because now I'm like in it. I'm like, this is terrible, but I can't turn it off because I just have to watch it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is one of those movies. So is it just the nature of just kind of like a cheesy, cheap genre film that kind of like makes this play fine?
Well, I think that for me, it's all about that the performances elevate the weak material, and that this international ensemble cast has weirdly interesting chemistry. And I am curious around every corner how those two things are going to shave off the sharp edges of really weak script material, right? I think that that's what I have to hang my hat on for this movie. These people are charismatic and fun to watch. And the melodrama of the final act, the final shootout, is that is actually a winning bit for me. I can't believe it.
That whole final battle actually is quite fun.
Yeah.
Like, they mysteriously find dynamite that they never knew it was like in the back of their Jeep. They're like, oh, look, there's all this dynamite.
We've been driving around with this the whole time. You should have been more gentle.
Right. So they have all this dynamite. And yeah, it's kind of a fun little takeover of the base of Nazar's base.
Yes.
As they're blowing things up, they're trying to save like all these women prisoners who have been taken hostage for the men. They're trying to save them. They're trying to go after Nazar. And Giorgio has his brutal final moment where he's getting attacked by that big bald muscle guy that Nazar has working for him, and then just like basically takes the dynamite and like throws him and grabs that guy, throws themselves to the ground, and boom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are some like surprisingly violent moments again throughout this movie.
Yes, there are.
And then the whole thing with Nazar when he gets back to the place because he wants that amulet, and it is a Bonnie and Clyde ending for him as everybody in the village just shoots him, and he's hanging on to a rope, like the other end of the hangman's rope, and he's just dangling there. It is like brutal.
Yes. 19,000 times. It's incredible. It's incredible. I feel like I came into this conversation today expecting both of us to be particularly acidic about this movie.
It would have been easy to be. Yeah.
It would have been easy to, but I think we may have convinced me that I enjoyed this movie even more than I did.
Yeah.
And that's okay because I'm not going to watch it again.
Yeah, right. I tell you, I would watch it again if there was an actual restoration so I could see what Negulesco was doing with the images. But
yeah, me too.
Just a question. What do you think the mom's motivation? At the end, after Malik, so the amulet is now been rescued. Zari is trying to get back to their village to get it, but Malik's mom has it. And she pulls the map out, looks at it, and then throws it in the fire, and then pretends she's like mourning over Nazar's body.
Right.
What do you? And then Zari comes up, finds the amulet empty, and realizes that she had burned it. What do you think of that ending? Are we meant to think mom is in it for herself and she's going to make off with all the money? Because she looks at it like she's like, I'm going to memorize this real quick.
Oh, no.
Or is she just like, no, nobody deserves this. Let it die with my son. What's your read?
Oh, Andy, God damn.
Did you not think maliciously of mom?
I hadn't, not at all. And now it's all I can think about. That
if she didn't look at it, I wouldn't have thought it. But she literally like opens it up and looks at it like, I'm memorizing this real quick, and now I'm going to throw it in the fire.
Yeah, I'm going to throw it in the fire. I'll be the only one who has it. Nobody else is going to... yeah, well, now that, of course, is all I thought. Originally, I thought, well, look at Mother. She opens it up, notices that it's the map, and chooses to burn it to protect the village. Now they don't have anything. There's no way anybody's going to get there. But of course... I'm sure you're right. She's Malik's mother. Like, of course, that's what she's going to do. I hate that exists in my head now.
I know. That's the sad truth.
Of course, I'm supposed to feel this way.
The sad truth.
That is the sad truth.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's an interesting one. I had a fun time. I had a fun enough time with it, surprisingly. Didn't like it, but I did have a fun enough time with it.
Me too.
Fun one to talk about, and an interesting way to end this particular series.
Well, let me ask you, as a palate cleanser, what would you recommend is the next film that someone should watch if they like this vibe? Maybe it's another Seven Samurai movie. Maybe it's another Negulesco film. Maybe it's just another film where moms betray everything for the treasure.
Interesting. I am going to go... It's hard for me to seriously recommend going from this and jumping into like Seven Samurai or something. Like, I just don't think that that's really going to be the vibe. If you enjoyed this and you're ready for something else, I'm going to say Three Amigos. Actually, I'm going to say stick with the theme, but do something that is also pretty fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's where I'm going to go.
Ironically, I might say watch these in reverse and go watch Battle Beyond the Stars. Like, it's different enough and crazy enough. I would say that if you are exploring the movies of the Seven Samurai, with some frequency, you should go back and watch Seven Samurai, because you've got to reset expectations around what these movies are trying to do from time to time, because some of them just come off the rails.
Yeah.
So
very true.
All right.
Oh gosh,
that was fun.
Fun movie. Great chatting about it. And we'll be right back. But first, our credits.
The Next Reel is a production of True Story FM, engineering by Andy Nelson, music by Alter, The Magnetic Buzz, Dan Zaitoon, Oriel Novella, and Eli Catlin. Andy usually finds all the stats for the awards and numbers at the-numbers.com, boxofficemojo.com, imdb.com, and wikipedia.org. Find the show at truestory.fm, and if your podcast app allows ratings and reviews, please consider doing that for our show.
When you're on a mission to explore the vast world of cinema, you need a reliable partner by your side. A sidekick that's always ready to help you navigate the twists and turns of the film landscape. That's where Letterboxd comes in, your trusty companion on your movie-watching journey. Letterboxd is here to help you plan the perfect cinematic heist. Whether you're tracking down hidden gems or exploring the latest blockbusters, Letterboxd is your go-to resource for all things movies. With Letterboxd by your side, you'll have access to a wealth of knowledge and tools to help you assemble your crew and plan your next movie-watching adventure. From personalized watch lists to in-depth reviews and discussions, Letterboxd is your secret weapon in the quest for cinema greatness. And here's the best part. We've got an exclusive deal that's as tempting as a glittering diamond. Head over to thenextreel.com/letterboxd or sign up directly on Letterboxd and use the code NEXTREEL to score a sweet 20% off your membership. This code works for both new signups and renewals, so everybody can join the crew. With a Letterboxd Pro or Patron membership, you'll unlock a treasure trove of features like ad-free browsing, personalized stats pages, streaming service notifications, and so much more. It's like having a master plan for your cinematic escapades all at your fingertips. So what are you waiting for? Gather your crew and join the Letterboxd community today. With Letterboxd as your trusted ally, you'll be ready to take on any movie-watching mission that comes your way. Visit thenextreel.com/letterboxd or sign up on Letterboxd now with the code NEXTREEL and let the heist begin.
So, you went to the Iranian Library of the Ages and you found where they keep the budget for all the movies that they make there that are co-productions, and you were able to give us some encyclopedically detailed information on the dollars.
I now want a building called the Iranian Library of the Ages.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, right,
it'll
there
be in
Tehran.
Poughkeepsie.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is one of those movies that when I decided to add it to the series, I pretty much knew I would never be able to find any information on it. And sure enough, I didn't. The movie did open June 10th, 1970. The other bit of trivia, I think, can help us understand how it fared a little bit. And we've talked about this some. IMDb's trivia page had this to say. Gene Negulesco spoke of making a whole slate of film projects in Iran, with this as the first film in the program. He claimed he had had talks with the Iranian government and found them enthusiastic. However, this film was poorly reviewed and a box office disaster, not released until some time after it was made, several years in the case of the UK. Negulesco abandoned his plans at once. So there you have it, Pete. A box office disaster. Well.
I'm sad for that.
Yeah.
There are worse movies that have fared better.
There is a whole slew of boutique distributors out there right now with quite an odd slate of films that they are restoring and re-releasing. And a lot of those I like less than this. I would say this is something, sure, give it a nice restoration, put it back out there. Let people enjoy it for what it is.
You know what they're doing? At the Sphere in Vegas, right?
Are they going to show this? Are they doing the 3D or the AI expansion of
the
this?
AI expansion, right? Like, this is a movie that if we can't find that CinemaScope or VistaVision print, we're going to be able to AI it probably in real time in no time.
Yeah.
The planet will be on fire, but we'll be able to do real time frame expansion.
When they get to doing that with the Invincible Six, it might just be the end of the world.
Yeah. All right. One thing I would like to call out, just so everybody knows behind the scenes, Andy, so that he doesn't have to be burdened with this, has completely removed my cue to ask him about awards. Take that as you will.
Yes,
and I will just say, I can't believe I'm saying this. I enjoyed my time talking about this movie. Probably more than I enjoyed watching it, but I did enjoy it.
Well, it's not a long movie, so it's an easy one to just roll by.
For sure.
It's I mean, we talked about like the sloppiness of that heist. We also have the really sloppy back story and flashbacks of Jahan. I'm like, did he just kill his wife? Who's he killing? What just happened there? Like, he's wanted for something. I couldn't figure it out. I guess when I was reading something, I guess he killed his wife's lover. I was like, I didn't even see a lover in all that. It was just like really poorly constructed. Like, we get a lot of that. It's a rough film, but yeah, I still had fun with it. Surprisingly. Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
All right.
Yep. Well, that's it. That's the end of our conversation about this movie. That's the end of our return to our Seven Samurai family series. And next week, we kick off a very brief one-film return to our Ricardo Darín series. That's right. We are talking about our favorite Argentine actor. We're looking at Fabian Bielinski's 2005 film, The Aura. We'll be right back for our ratings.
Like water to a man in the desert. That Ricardo Darín.
I watched that, and because I just couldn't get enough of him, I'm like, I need more Darín in my life, so I watched another of his films, The Summit.
I saw that. Did you like it?
Less than The Aura, but it's interesting. It has its moments.
Hi, I'm Giorgio's cousin Marco. You probably don't remember me from the Invincible Six because, well, I was in the bathroom when everyone left for the jewel heist. And honestly, it was the best bathroom break of my life. While those guys were out there dodging the police, fleeing into the desert, getting shot at by the bandits, and defending a village from James Mitchum, playing an Iranian warlord, I was safe at home, enjoying my podcasts. Specifically, I joined the Next Reel family of film podcasts membership program. For just $5 a month or $55 a year, I get access to 5 amazing film podcasts. The Next Reel, that's this one, Sitting in the Dark, The Film Board, CinemaScope, and Movies We Like. I get bonus episodes, I get early access and ad-free versions, I get my own personal podcast feed. I feel so special. I get access to the live stream recordings and exclusive Discord channels if you want to get your chat on. Plus, and this is key, nobody shoots at me. Sure, those guys got to be heroes and everything, but I got to avoid heat stroke in the Iranian desert and directly support the podcast that I love. So you head to truestory.fm/join. That's truestory.fm/join and become a member today just like I did. Trust me, it is way better than defending a village. Sorry, Tex. It's just way better. Letterboxd, Andrew. We're talking about Letterboxd, and that's where we put our stars in our hearts over at letterboxd.com/thenextreel. It's where you can find our HQ page. And today we are going to assign probably hearts and some stars to this movie. What are you going to do?
Yeah, you talked about this last week when you were wanting to rate Battle Beyond the Stars, I think 1 star and a heart, and didn't. But I feel like this is really the sort of film that ends up warranting that. Is it 1 star? Is it 2 stars? I'm going to actually say 1.5 stars, but I am going to also give it a heart because, yeah, this was a weirdly fun movie. It just is such a mess, but I did enjoy my time with it.
I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm, yes, going to give it a heart. That's settled science. But I am going to actually half up you by giving it the full 2-star treatment. 2 stars and a heart for the Invincible Six. Maybe only after our conversation have I come to this realization that it's 2-star worthy.
Wow. Hey, it is entertaining. It's an easy watch. Terrible, but easy. Yeah.
That's it.
Well, that averages out to 1.75, which rounds to 2 stars and a heart. And you can find that over on our account on Letterboxd at The Next Reel. You can find me there at Soda Creek Film, and you can find Pete there at Pete Wright. So what did you think about The Invincible Six? I'd love to know that somebody else actually watched it. Give it a try. Let us know what you think. Hop into the Show Talk channel over in the Discord community where we will be talking about the movie this week.
When the movie ends,
our conversation begins.
Letterboxd giveth, Andrew.
As Letterboxd always doeth.
Not a lot of choices this week. Not a lot of choices.
That's very true. The film has been marked as seen by a total of 64 people over on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
And of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people have written a review.
Yeah. Not very many.
Not very many.
And yet we have found reviews. Andy, would you like to kick us off?
I would love to kick us off. I went for the same rating that I did, although no heart. Amos Healy, 1.5, says, this feels like a random VHS movie your grandma would have.
Why your grandma?
I know.
My grandma would not have trucked with this movie.
This would not have been one my grandma would have had.
No.
I just love the fact that Amos's grandma might have.
Yeah. That actually does tell us a lot about Amos's grandma.
Not only that, but also the fact that Amos assumes from the fact that his grandma would have this, that everybody's grandma would have this on VHS.
Yeah. Wow. That is some next level presumption.
Right?
Well, I've got one from Mehdi Chamay with 2.5 stars. This is what industry means. Someday you wake up with the ring bell of some postman who brought you the script to the latest Jean Negulesco movie based on Seven Samurai with elements of Western genre, which will be shot in your home country, Iran. And you'll be co-starring Stuart Whitman. And of course, your people can watch it in theaters. Man, I really miss those days. Today's cinema is just governmental sack of poop. Long live Berouge Vashugi. Long live Film Farsi. Long live industry.
Look at that. A little celebration of Iranian cinema.
I love it.
I love it. Yeah.
Glad we did this movie, Andy.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah. Long live industry. Thanks, Long live Letterboxd.